Alright then, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do the player ratings. We're going to get into the stats and the details for every single player on the pitch yesterday against Wolves. Obviously, it was a disappointing performance, but it is what it is. So let's get into the player ratings, every single player. Start with Andre Onana in net, 6 out of 10. It was a quiet afternoon in terms of workload, probably not in terms of importance. Wolves had just one shot on target. Unfortunately, that was Sarabia's free kick that beat him. It was a great free kick. Can't really blame him for that. Distribution was again a bit of a mixed bag. We chose to go long at times. We chose to play tight. He was accurate with 4 out of the 9 long balls. Otherwise, it was 21 out of 27 passes for him. It was a pretty strong man press that we saw from Wolves. Little he could do about the goal, but didn't really command his area and actually didn't really need to at the same time as well. He was ultimately pretty untested, but he still ended up picking up the ball out the back of his net. So 6 out of 10. Mazraoui, one of United's better performers, ultra clean on the ball, as he always is. 68 out of 74 passes, 92%. He was active in his duels, as he always is. Wins 10 out of 14, which is fantastic. And you get that out of him all the time. 5 tackles, 7 defensive actions. He occasionally pushed up high to help recycle possession, and he was really good at doing that. Obviously, there's no involvement in the final third from him. But a really good performance from Mazraoui. Again, just intelligent and deals with it. And when you think he's playing alongside like a really unorthodox back three, and he arguably out of position himself as well, even though I do like him as one of the wider players in a back three. Just a real good performance from him. So 8 out of 10 for Mazraoui. Lindelof, 7 out of 10. Tidy on the ball, ultra tidy on the ball, 49 out of 51 passes, 96%, but pretty passive. Didn't get involved in too much in terms of duels, which was only the one. Didn't really assert any authority in key moments. When Wolves broke forward, wasn't really aggressive enough in stepping in. It's the kind of performance that's fine on paper, but it didn't really lacked any sort of presence. So safe, but a little bit sterile. Tyler Fredricson, debut, 8 out of 10. I think there's only one player on the pitch that was better than him. And even that is by a hair, honestly. 15 duels, right? I can imagine in the Wolves dressing room before the game, you sit there and you say, you got a young lad at centre-half making his debut, go make it his last ever game. Like that, if that wasn't said in the Wolves dressing room, then what is anyone doing here, right? And if that was their intention, they failed miserably. Because he was involved in 15 duels and he won 12 of them. 4 tackles, 7 aerial duels, of which he won 5. Led the back line in clearances, completed 64 out of 69 passes, which is 93%, and showed just ultra composure and bite. He balanced aggressive and composed and good decision-making flawlessly. He knew how to play with intensity. If this was a test, he absolutely passed. The only mark against him was possibly even just a lack of leadership from some of the senior players around him. And that's not even on him. But yeah, what a performance. What a debut. Well done, son. You've just bought yourself some more appearances towards the back end of this season. And maybe even an appearance in a Europa League semi-final. Well done. 8 out of 10. Dorgu, 7.5 out of 10. Very good. 7 tackles, 15 duels, won 11. He had 14 ground duels, won 10 of them. Just another warrior-like shift. That's what he does. Tenacious. He was United's most active passer. Active presser before being substituted off on the hour. Slightly let down by the impact that he had with the ball. In terms of didn't really complete crosses. But a really, really aggressive and decent performance. Possibly withdrawn too early, possibly just to give other people minutes. But yeah, really solid performance from Dorgu. Played out of position over on the right-hand side. So showing his versatility yet again. Solid performance. Ugarte, 7 out of 10. Tenacious as ever. 12 duels, 8 of them won, 3 tackles, 87% pass completion. Pretty much standard fare from him, really. Covered well, did his job as a disruptor. Wolves did sit deep, and obviously he's not a creator, so you're not going to see him help unlock anything. He's there for the transition and everything else. But, a solid, unspectacular game for him. Obviously was substituted as United tried to chase a goal late on in the game. Now, Christian Eriksen. I think Christian Eriksen, when he's been involved, has been really, really good and brought like a mature head and a level of quality to United's play. But that, I don't think, was the case yesterday. He had the ball more than anybody else. He lost the ball more than anyone else. Lost it 28 times. He had 104 touches of the ball. He did deliver some creative intent. One big chance created. 7 accurate long balls from 10. But only one key pass. And he crossed it 13 times. Real mixed bag. On that, how much of that... Do you remember we was talking in the 5 things, we were talking about the lack of movement from Rasmus Hojlund? It's kind of what we're talking about. United are putting things into the right areas. He's not getting on the end of them. His delivery did lead to moments. But it was also his foul that led to Wolves getting the winner. So it was an erratic performance from him. And a frustrating one at that as well. So 5.5 for Christian Eriksen yesterday. Harry Amass, 8.5. I thought it was a really impressive performance. Steady without being flashy, just like a masterclass in decision-making and how to play in tight spaces. 89% pass completion, 9 out of 13 duels won, some really decent overlapping runs. Wasn't getting the ball every time, even though he was making the right runs. It seemed like Garnacho wanted an extra touch before he was giving him. And I think that contributed to the fact that he didn't get too much real attacking threat from his crosses. He was trying to cross it early. He was trying to put the ball right in the mixer. Wasn't quite finding the target when he put it in there, but I like the intent. Wolves did not threaten down his side. And again, taking it back to the Wolves dressing room before the game, you would have looked at the fact you've got Harry Amass making his second ever start and Fredricson making his first ever start, and you've gone, lads, get into these kids, make something happen. And the only way that they did was from a set play. So he's got to be very happy with that performance. I thought he handled his job. He did it defensively. It was a great option going forward. Really encouraging performance from him. And he'll be quite rightly happy with how he shown yesterday. Kobbie Mainoo, 7. He only had 31 touches, 19 out of 22 passes, 1 tackle in an hour. The link play was brilliant, but he didn't really influence the tempo. He was very much used in the final third, and this is where we don't fully understand where works best for him. I think in those tight spaces, some of the link play was sensational. Some of the speed of his play was brilliant. It's genuinely a joy to watch him at times, but there was no end product from him, obviously. Like, we didn't score from open play, but there was no end product coming on or coming out of him. But, I think he's had a real stop-start season. I thought it was impressive in what he did, but we still need to see a little bit more of Kobbie Mainoo. This is the road back to recovery for him. So it was decent without being spectacular, I thought. Garnacho, frustrating. He obviously tried to make things happen. He was involved in 19 duels. So you're like, well, he's busy. He's putting himself about. He did only win 5 of them. He did lose possession 26 times. And he got 3 key passes, which was good. So you can see that he is creating chances. Now, he had 5 crosses that didn't find someone. Again, some of that is who he's crossing it to. But some of that is also down to his own decision making. I thought he held onto the ball a little bit too much at times, but he was creating chances for people, undeniably. And when he's doing that, I think he plays at his best. The issue with Garnacho is when he plays for himself. But yeah, ultimately yesterday he did struggle with the end product. Quite often ran into traffic. The effort can't be questioned. But the end product wasn't quite there. The execution wasn't quite there from him. It was a bit of a chaotic performance, really, from Garnacho. Rasmus, it's a 4. It's just anonymous. And it's the same every single week. Completely anonymous. Involved in 2 duels, won 1. He had 1 blocked shot. The lack of service, I don't think it's a real excuse, to be honest with you. He does not help himself. His movement is predictable or non-existent or completely static. He seems just unhappy when the ball isn't gifted to him on a plate. You've got to work for these chances. United are putting the ball into the area. I'm watching Manchester United put the ball into the right area, and I'm watching him not be there. Yesterday, I saw Christian Eriksen overtake him to get towards the front post for a ball, and Eriksen didn't have the fucking legs for it because he's about 107 years of age. Why is our striker 10 yards behind one of our midfielders when the ball is being crossed into the box? If you've got no other job, it's to meet that ball. He could not create any sort of separation. His hold-up play is poor. He's far too interested in trying to win duels than he is in terms of just getting up. There was opportunities where he could have just sent a clean pair of heels at a defender, and he chose to just like fight the defender rather than just get on the ball. It makes no sense whatsoever. 4 out of 10 for what feels like the 20th time this season. I'm not even talking about the fact that he's not scored X goals in whatever. I'm talking about just the raw building blocks of a performance of a striker he doesn't have at the moment. Bruno, I didn't think he looked at it when he came on yesterday. I thought he looked erratic, chaotic. But he came on and he got on the ball. Like, considering how long he was on the pitch, he came and got on the ball in a big, big way. 39 out of 43 passes completed, two crosses, one accurate, one interception. Tempo did improve when he came on, possibly because of him. He couldn't break the deadlock. Wasn't a game changer for United, but he did bring a level of intent, if nothing else, an urgency. Yeah, should he have started? Probably. But at some point, Bruno Fernandes needs a rest. So he got the rest. And he's got a week now before he plays again. So probably do him good. Mason Mount, 6 out of 10. He brought energy. 100% pass completion, 14 out of 14. 5 duels, he won 3 of them. And some decent movement. But it seems like he lacks any sort of edge to him. That's what you're there for. You're a final third player. We need some edge out of you. We don't need our final third players keeping it safe, right? It was a decent little shift. But there's got to be so much more. If he's going to save his Manchester United career, he's got to drop more than a 6 out of 10 performance, because that's exactly what this was. Cheeto, 6. Too little time, too few touches. His link play was decent and his movement was decent, but it was far too late of an introduction considering the complete anonymous performance that we was getting out of Rasmus Hojlund. And Delo, 6 as well. Involved, committed, 2 tackles, 7 duels. Only won 4 of them, mind, but he helped us get on the front foot just a little bit more. Lacking a little bit of sharpness, but he did offer a little bit of intent. And Lenny Euro, barely tested in the 11 or so minutes he was on the pitch. 12 out of 14 passes, won all of his duels. But the game was dealt with by then, really. A bit of a late shuffle rather than any level of meaningful impact to be expected from him. United have got a real young squad kind of emerging here. If you can get the right sort of older heads and talent, well, we won't be 13th, 14th, 15th, wherever we are this season, next season, will we? I hope. Because Christ on a bike. It's aged me about 10 years this season. Couldn't do it again. Please let me know your thoughts on those ratings in the comments below. And I'll see you tomorrow. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.